Hello, everybody. So, today we are going to talk about market equilibrium. So, firstly, what a market is. A market is a place where your buyers and sellers, or you can say consumer and producer, meet each other. And as far as the equilibrium is concerned, equilibrium is considered that ideal state or a condition or where your most of your indicators come into aggregation with each other, or they agree with each other. So if we have already discussed about demand and supply in the class. Sorry. So what demand is basically the negative relationship between price and quantity, and we know that here, if the price of a commodity increases, its quantity demand decreases, and if the price decreases, the quantity demand increases. So there is an inverse relationship between price and the quantity demand. But on the other hand, if we look towards supply is basically exhibiting a positive relationship between price and quantity demand. Again, we have same variables, price and quantity. So what supplier or the producer will do, that as the price increase, he will try to increase the supply, and if the price decrease, he will try to decrease the supply. So if we look into the behavior of both of them, for example, let's talk about price increase. The consumer will decrease the quantity, but the supplier will increase the quantity. So their behavior is sort of different in direction from each other. So let's see that what is the point where we say that both of them are going to agree with each other. I have taken a schedule where I have taken different prices, and against these prices I have a schedule of demand, and I have a schedule of supply. So with the help of this, I'm going to draw a graph. So on vertical axis I have price, and on horizontal axis I have quantity. So let's start from the demand side. I have already taken some points, so it will just save some time. Like, let's see, if on 10 my quantity demand is 8, so on 10 quantity demand is 8, this is my point. On 20 quantity demand is 4, this is my point. So, and on 40, like so on with 30 and 40, this is my point. So if I join these points, this is my negatively sloped demand curve. Similarly, now if I take points for the supply, so on 10 my supply is 2, so on 10 supply is 2, this is the point. On 20 supply is 4, so this is the point. And on 30 the supply is 6, so this is 6 and this is 30. And on 40 I have 8, so on 40 I have 8. So if I join these points, this is a positively sloped supply curve. So where basically both of them intersect each other. This is basically what they are intersecting. Intersecting means they are cutting each other, right? So this is what we call intersection. So this, at this point, this is my equilibrium price, and this is my equilibrium quantity. And this point where the supply and demand curve intersect each other, this is called market equilibrium. So basically, demand tells us about the willingness and ability of consumer, and supply tells us about the willingness and ability of producer. And market equilibrium point is the point where the willingness and ability of consumer matches the willingness and ability of producer. Now here the point comes in, that why we cannot have equilibrium above this point, and why we cannot have below this point. So let's just take an example, that if I say one more thing I will tell you from the schedule as well. Like, from this schedule, if you see this point, on this 20 your supply and demand are equal, like both are 4. It means 20 is your equilibrium price, and 4 is your equilibrium quantity. So why not above this and why not below this? Let's assume that you choose a price that is 30. On this 30 price, your quantity demand like this is the demand curve, your quantity demand is 2 and your quantity supply is 6. Same in the graph, it's 2 and it's 6. So what is happening that people are willing to buy 2 units, but producer is trying to sell you 6 units. So with this there is a gap, and in this gap you can see that your demand is less than your supply. So when, or otherwise your supply is more than your demand. If this is the scenario, it means that things are remaining unsold in the market. So when the things remain unsold in the market, this is the point where we call that this is creating surplus. This situation is called surplus, when things are remaining unsold in the market. So if the price is above the market price, this will be known as surplus. Okay, let's look into the other side. If we say that the price is below the equilibrium price, okay, when the price is below the equilibrium price, let's say we say that it is 10. So on 10, this is the supply curve, the supply is now 2 and the demand is on 10, okay, on 10 the demand is 8. Now you are demanding 8 units, but the supply in the market is 2. So in this scenario, what is happening is that your supply is greater than demand. So when your your demand is greater than supply. So it means people are demanding more, and when they are demanding more and there are not such things available in the market, this will create shortage. So what will happen that if only it's the situation where the demand and supply curve intersect each other will be the market equilibrium point, where most of your consumers and most of your producers will agree on this price. If the price is above this, it will create surplus, and if the price is below this, it will create shortage. Hope I'm able to make you understand the points of market equilibrium. Further, you can see it in your slides and also in your book. If you have any query regarding this, so you are welcome to ask. Thank you so much.